Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So tonight, let's talk about the Ethereum rally and Bitcoin rally. Both are real. We still have people not believing in our rallies, but I'm here to make a case that they are definitely real. And tonight, Ethereum is up over 10%. Bitcoin has climbed to a new high for 2023. It is exciting, folks. Very, very exciting. So let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, it's not morning time, but I'm going to hit that bell anyways because that is exactly what's happening right now. Bitcoin is up to a new high in 2023, 30,800, and looks like it wants to climb to this 31.6 in no time. But it's not just Bitcoin today. In fact, Ethereum is up 11%. Didn't I tell you guys not to worry about the upgrade? And I told you guys I think the upgrade will bring more people to Ethereum. And that's exactly what's happening right now. ETH dominance has climbed up, nearing 20%. So this is the first time really of this year where Ethereum is starting to gain a little bit on Bitcoin. It's been trailing throughout the whole year. Now let's see if the table is going to turn, right? But what's causing this? What's causing this? Was today a good day? Well, I mean, if you look at the stock market, today was a pretty good day overall, right? After yesterday's fake out, today was actually pretty good, productive, so it didn't hurt. We got some inflation data, right? That shows inflation's going down. We got some weakness in our economy, some economic data that turned out to be a little bit weaker than expected, right? And now there's a lot of talks about inflation coming down in a big way. So this is making people hopeful once again. So according to Lance here, he believes that CPI will start going down in a big way because real estate, specifically rent, will start dropping. But why is it dropping though? Why is it dropping? Is it because home prices are dropping? Not really. It's dropping because there's actually less. There's less people that can afford rent, unfortunately. So if you calculate that, even though yes, right, this may be a good thing that rent prices are dropping and that will decrease inflation. But the reason why it's dropping is because there's a lot of people right now getting laid off. There's a lot of white-collar jobs right now, the higher-paying jobs that don't exist. Companies have hiring freezes. Companies started laying people off, right? So the repercussions of the very fast, actually the fastest rate hike in history, according to any Fed that we had, right? It's having a toll. So yes, even though inflation is coming down, but overall, we got to be careful. We got to be careful, right? But like I said, how do you hedge against this? How do you hedge against the oncoming recession? How do you hedge against inflation? Bitcoin. Bitcoin, right? So even though there are some people that think that inflation is coming down, guess what? I just saw this. Remember the student loan cancellation from President Biden? Well, it went to the Supreme Court, and then now, basically, it's going to be allowed. So $6 billion student loan will be canceled. Where's that money coming from? Well, the money printer. So, obviously, this is not going to help with inflation. But, you know, to be honest, $6 billion, which sounds so big, is a drop in a bucket compared to the $500 billion that the Fed already loaned out to the banks, and a drop in a bucket compared to the, I forgot what the debt ceiling is, like $32 trillion. Barely nothing. $6 billion is nothing. It's like pocket change, right? But that's how bad it's gotten. It's like $6 billion doesn't even mean anything anymore because our government continues to print hundreds of billions to trillions. Like, how is that sustainable, right? It's not. It's not. That's why we have inflation. So even though inflation is coming down from very elevated levels, does not mean things will just go back to normal. There will be parts that Powell calls like prices will be entrenched. There will be parts in our economy that will always be this high going forward, no matter what. And that 2 to 3% that Powell's looking for, that certainly isn't going to go away either. So you don't want your money, you don't want your buying power to decrease due to overspending and bailouts and raising of debt ceilings and all this nonsense and the devaluation of the USD, right? So bottom line is this: you need to turn to Bitcoin and crypto. Even banks themselves, who are threatened by the very concept of a decentralized payment system or store of value, even though they are threatened by it, their analysts are saying, well, Bitcoin's rally is real, and there's more left in the tank. And why did they say this? Because they're noticing that there is an unusual amount of Bitcoin going to holders and staying there. Well, no duh. No duh. That's exactly what's happening. I've been saying this. You don't need Bank of America analysts to tell you this, but that's what they're noticing. They're like, well, you have hundreds of millions of Bitcoin moving into wallets and they're just holding. So obviously that means there's a demand, and that demand is not going away, right? Well, I've been saying that for years, okay? That is the reason why the liquid supply of Bitcoin right now is at an 8-year high, closing in at all-time high soon, okay? 78% of Bitcoin, 78% of Bitcoin is liquid, meaning it's not on exchanges, not tradable, being held in cold storage or custody. That is an enormous amount. And this is happening right now when Bitcoin is at $28,000. Well, no, it's not $28,000. It's $30,000, excuse me. I got so used to saying $28,000, right? But imagine when we're at $60,000 or $100,000, right? This number will continue to climb and climb and climb. Percent last active for the last 2 years, all-time high, above 53%. There's just more and more people that are buying and holding. It's really that simple. So is this rally real? I certainly say so. Yes, just look at it. Just look at the facts, look at the metrics, look at the fundamentals, right? Everything is pointing to this rally is real. And it's not just with Bitcoin, it's with many other crypto out there right now. But Bitcoin is definitely leading the way. Even if you're a degen and you want to play with futures or options, right? There are a lot more open interest right now than there are put interest, meaning you should not be shorting Bitcoin at this point. If you are, you're playing with fire, and we have seen a lot of short squeezes recently, right? So there you go. And what's also interesting about this current movement right now is, this is really hard to read, but I finally got it. There's an enormous amount of whales that are also buying. So if you look at the top right-hand side, the very top basically shows addresses that are over 10,000. And you can see how it's deep, deep red. So actually you have massive amount of buying from the ultra-rich whales, okay? Now, previously when we were coming up, 24, 25, 28, you could see that it was kind of spread all across, right? You have a lot of buying from under 1 Bitcoin, 1 to 10 Bitcoin, 10 to 100 Bitcoin, right? But recently, you got a lot more institutions coming in. But why is that? Because they're getting ready. It's not just the retail, right? The ultra mega whales and institutions, they're like, yeah, we better stock up. You know, Bitcoin, the train is about to leave the station, and we don't want to miss it, right? And here's the thing. Here's another thing, too, that's very interesting. Well, there's a couple interesting things. First, I'll show you this. Another prediction that Bitcoin will be hitting $40,000, specifically $42,000 in the near future, okay? Meaning the next month, possibly, okay? This is not the only chart that shows that. This is another one, but that is our short-term high that we're looking forward to. But who knows? We may blast that off. And then here's the last thing. I've seen charts like this that show that addresses holding at least one Bitcoin close to 1 million, okay? Now, I know that it's not 1 million people that own Bitcoin. A lot of people have multiple addresses, but I figured maybe it's like, you know, a fourth, right? Or a third or something like that. But there's this guy right here. He's going to break it down. He works for the Blockware team, and he's making an argument that there's only about 31,000 people on the planet that hold at least one Bitcoin. 31,000. I know a lot of you guys in the chat recently became whole coiners. Some of you guys are already whole coiners from years ago, right? But if you think about it, if this is actually true, how many of you guys in this chat make up this 31,200? I mean, enormous amount, right? That's a huge percentage. So if you really think about it, if this is true, there's only 31,000 people out of 8+ billion that hold one Bitcoin, and you're part of that group. Think about how far ahead you are versus everyone else. That's very, very amazing, right? And of course, today we got to talk about Ethereum. It's not all just bullishness on Bitcoin, Ethereum too. After the Shanghai upgrade, it has jumped up over 2,000. It is at 2,100. ETH dominance is going up. That is something to keep your eyes on, because if it continues to go up and up and up and up, right, the momentum may be shifting throughout this year. Bitcoin has led the way. Ethereum has been lagging, right? Is this the time for Ethereum to play catch up? But right now, you still have, even after unstaking, you still have close to 18 million ETH staked right now in 151,000 validators, and those people are making 4.2% APR. And this morning I covered how there are more people staking right now than unstaking. I mean, there's really no reason to be unstaking and selling off, especially since it's rallying right now, right? And I was going to try to show like the gas fees and like how much burning, but all these sites, they got screwed up by the upgrade, so they can't really show. But I'm pretty sure right now the burning is going nuts too. Very nuts. But overall, it's pretty good for Ethereum. But let's not forget, there are many other L2s out there. Ethereum right now dominating 60% of all TVL from all the DeFi projects out there locked into Ethereum. But you still have other layer 2s like Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism, Phantom. There's ZK Sync. There's a lot of others that are all EVM based or compatible, and they're all fantastic too. They're all fantastic too. Here's an article that's arguing that Arbitrum, which finally found a bottom recently, started coming up, right? How it's ready to make a new high. I don't know if it's going to go back to $11. I think that's ridiculous, but it could be heading up because they're collecting a ton of fees right now. There are a ton of projects on top of Arbitrum already, so that shows you how much usage. Also versus Optimism, right? It's actually just cheaper overall if you're looking at a lot of these metrics. And from a chart perspective, it looks like it wants to break out of this triangle. So Arbitrum is very hot right now, but all the L2s I just mentioned, they're all gaining, and it's good. It's good all around, right? Very, very exciting time, guys. Very exciting indeed. All right. Let's do some Q&A. But look at this. Today, even Cardano up 7%. Doge up 9%. Polygon finally moving a little bit. Polygon actually has been very disappointing. I don't know why it's been so weak. Look at the last 60 days. It's still down 4%. So kind of disappointed with Polygon. But up 7% finally today, right? And then you have Polkadot that's up. I mean, everything is up today. Uniswap is up a good 8%. Aptos, Lido, of course, the biggest liquid staking project, up 13%. Look at Arbitrum, up 31%. This morning was like 12. I didn't even realize that it's up 30%. Crazy. VeChain is up a little bit, 6%. I mean, I don't think you get Optimism, 13%. You know, layer 2s are just so hot right now. Is there anything in the red? No. I don't think there's one single coin in the top 100 other than USDC that is in the red right now. That's what we want to see. All right, let's do Q&A. All right, scrolling up here, you got Alex. Appreciate a super chat. My big bag of Arbitrum is printing like crazy. Congratulations. 30% in a single day is crazy. Crazy. What is up with the Supreme Court? I don't know how. I mean, it was like ruled against, and then the Supreme Court ruled for it. I don't know. You know, I still don't know the reason why this is a good idea, but somehow this is. But it's just, you know, but again, the funny thing is $6 billion these days almost means nothing. It's a drop in a bucket in terms of how much the U.S. government spends every single year. Nathan, go Cadena. Is Cadena going up? Yes, a little bit. Little bit. You know, there's still 200 million market cap, right? I told you guys I talked to this project that has a deep relationship with them. No, not CADX, another company. And they seem like they're helping them. How's the Ferrari? I drove it for maybe like 10 minutes yesterday, and that's it. I just don't have that much time. But I did fill it up for first time. First time. So that's a big, I don't know about accomplishment, a milestone. Alien T, you're not getting your facts straight. He says he prefers Doge because it's a joke, and the irony is, if you make the joke the real currency, that would be hilarious. And he have said that before. He also said in an interview he holds a lot more Bitcoin than he holds Doge. He is trolling Doge and supportive because he knows a lot of people like it, but he doesn't take it very seriously. He holds a lot more Bitcoin than Doge. Tesla holds hundreds of millions of Bitcoin, holds 0 Doge. And he says he holds more Ethereum too than Doge, right? So if you're putting all your eggs in the Doge basket, know that it's all dependent on Elon at this point. There's nothing else going for Doge. Doge is good at pulling in people, right, into the market. And what's good about it is people then learn about other, better, more useful coins. So there's that. Did I stake my ETH yet? No, not yet. Not yet. We'll be doing so soon. Take advantage of cheap Cardano. Well, I think I would argue everything is cheap right now. But Cardano also has been pretty stagnant. If you're looking at a top 10 for the last 90 days, Polkadot, Solana, Polygon about the same. Doge only up 1.84% in the last 90 days. Not strong at all. Cardano's 22%, XRP's 28%, so a little bit better. Also, BNB only up about 8%, really weak. So out of the top 10, Doge is the weakest, then BNB, then you have several tied. Ethereum's not bad at 37, but Bitcoin up 47%. And then you got Litecoin only up about 9%. SHIB only up 7%, right? And then you got some like Cosmos that's down 6%. Cosmos also a little disappointing, but I know there's a lot of great projects being built within Cosmos right now. What is DXY? DXY was at 100. Yeah, DXY is 100. DXY going down is also fantastic for crypto. Sam, no, there was no gold diggers. It was the middle of the afternoon, so not a lot of people. Jason retracted a super chat, interactive, appreciate it. JRR, thoughts on Gala? You ask about Gala every single day, don't you? You know, I agree with you. They're trying to become entertainment hub of Web3, but I fear they're too distracted. You know, their bread and butter are games. I think they should strengthen that position, right? Music and movies, that's not their forte. So even though it seems like it could be a good thing, I hope it doesn't distract them away from becoming the gaming powerhouse that they can be. My DCA in BDC is 38,000. Should I sell and buy back and take? Ken, why? You're like 7,000 away. Why would you sell it now and take a loss? I don't get it. What's your reason? Shout out to my dog, Peels. Hey, Peels. Someone tried to withdraw 4K from your Coinbase. Well, you better change your password. You better secure. Something's going on there, right? So good thing you got it out in time. So good for you. But yeah, that's kind of scary. Hey, George, on these little pumps, would you say it's a good idea to take profits? Listen, no one ever gets hurt taking profits, okay? If you feel uncomfortable or you feel like you don't have enough cash on the side, then go ahead. You know, my new rule is to keep like 20%, 25%, 30% in cash. And if you don't have that, then you know what? Take some profits and get that cash position, right? In case things turn sour, goes down, you could DCA, right? Make sure you have enough, and it's a really good practice for basically keeping enough cash on the side. Are we going to see all-time high for ETH? We certainly will with this next market, with this next bull run. We certainly will. It got up to what was the previous high? 4,000 something? Will we get there? Yes. Yes. Norman, thank you. I've been holding, Ed says, I've been holding BTC, ETH, Galamatic, and a few others for 1 to 1.5 years. How high do you think BTC will go before it pulls back periodically? It could happen now. Ed, if you've been holding 1+ year, why do you care if it pulls back? Right? You just continue to hold on and continue to DCA. If you're afraid of pullback, then take some profits right now. So I don't know what you're asking. If you're asking, well, if there's like a major pullback or something, I can't tell you that. No one could tell you that. Right? But what I can tell you is if you don't have that cash power ready and you need to take some profits, go ahead and do so. If you feel too greedy, go ahead and do so. No one ever gets hurt taking profits. Okay? You only lose potential gains by taking profit, but you don't get hurt because usually taking profits means that you're in the green unless you're just selling and taking a loss. I have been rolling Doge on pumps into Solana. I started with 10 sold, now at 50 sold. Congratulations, Kenneth, although I'm not a big fan of Solana. And not just because the FTX thing, it's because they still haven't solved their network outage issues. It just seems to happen all the time. Just last month, it seemed like they had one. They need to solve that ASAP. And they need to get more usage. Right now, there's that new Boink Inu that's doing well. I think that's helping them go up. Also, their NFT activity is still decent, but they need to beef up their DeFi ecosystem too. AG says, I just became a crypto millionaire. Congratulations. If that is true, you have made it to 7 digits. Maybe you should take some profit. You don't want to be that Dogecoin millionaire. He was a millionaire for like a month, and then you know, he lost a lot of money afterwards. Slow link indicates a rally when it starts pumping. It gets its turn. You know Link. Chainlink is slow moving. It's just really slow moving. It's not a fast mover at all, right? But, you know, with that said, Chainlink is still outperforming some of these down here, right? So it's not the slowest moving for sure, but it's not the quickest either. Beating Club 3 is not open yet. It's going to be open later this year. The first club will be Sunset Strip in LA, right? I do want to go and check it out, but I do think the membership, at first I didn't think so, but then I thought about it. You're buying NFT for lifetime. It's not yearly. You know, a lot of people pay just their gym membership is thousands per year. You go to Consensus, it's thousands one time. You go to anywhere, it's thousands, right? So for them to offer worldwide club access one-time fee, I think that's a pretty good bargain, especially if you are in LA right now, you want to mingle with Web3 people. But later on, they're going to open up in New York and Hong Kong and everywhere else. I mean, just seems to make a lot of sense, right? Yeah. Thoughts on DCA into 5x BTC, cross leverage, taking profits by actual. I don't know what BTX cross leverage is, NMCT. If you want to buy Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin. Chris, Toby, appreciate it. Send you a virtual beer. Thank you, Francisco. Even though I should not drink so much beer, but I will take it. Drinking water tonight. If USA banned BTC, what is the play? I'm DCing out. I'm DCing, but it won't. You can't ban Bitcoin, and no one is trying to ban Bitcoin. That's not even on the table. There's no narrative of banning Bitcoin from anyone. That was so 2017. Fast forward to today, 2023, no one is talking about banning Bitcoin. Steven, thank you. Any stocks you're big on? David, Tesla, long term, not short term. And also all the Bitcoin related stocks. Coinbase, Mara, you can go MicroStrategy, anything that's Bitcoin related, they will trend up as long as Bitcoin trends up, right? It's really that simple. Waiting for Bitcoin to break out right now. It's holding very strong. Want to see it break out to 31.6. Could happen tomorrow or even tonight. Jason, appreciate it. You guys want to see my car? I took a nice picture. I was going to tweet it, but you know, I didn't want to put too much on my Twitter. I don't know if I could get it into my computer here. Hold on. I don't know how to transfer it to my computer. All right. Taking a while. While I'm working on this, let me answer some question. Wazaz, appreciate the chat. Mara Riot skyrocketing. Any comment on it? I just got done talking, Mike. For stocks, Bitcoin-related stocks, especially the mining stocks, they are on fire. And they will continue to be on fire as long as Bitcoin keeps going up. Their profit is skyrocketing, right? So it makes a whole lot of sense. T's asking, gaming tokens starting to look hot. What do you think about PYR, which is Vulcan Forge? I'm familiar with them. They are, I think, I would say the second biggest gaming platform right behind Gala. They have a ton of games. I know they have a conference coming up next month. I'm actually thinking about maybe attending. You know what? And I do know Jamie. So I think they have a lot of potential. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, if I go to that conference, I'm gonna go to a couple of them in May. Going to Bitcoin 2023. So hopefully I can meet a lot of you guys there. If you want to attend, use my affiliate link in the description. Get 10% off. I know it's ridiculously expensive, but it's one of those places I go every year for to mingle. I plan on having a party there, so look out for that. I plan on rewarding my NFT holders, so stay tuned for that. But then afterwards, I don't know is for certain if I'm going to that Vulcan conference. I'm not going to Consensus for sure. And then there's a few others. There's like an Avalanche conference that someone just told me about. That's in May. I don't think I'm flying to Spain for it. There's one that's supposed to be in Singapore in September. I'm thinking about going to that one, but I don't want to be on a plane for 20-something hours, right? So, like, I don't know. All right, you guys ready to see my Ferrari? There we go. The first fill up from yesterday. It's a 2022 Ferrari F8 Tributo that I picked up like, I don't know, sometime late last year, and it's been sitting in my garage until now. Yeah, it's a very sexy car, two-toned, carbon fiber wheels, carbon ceramic brakes. I mean, it's not really loaded. I mean, if you load this up, it could be a lot more expensive, but you know, it's pretty damn expensive already. It's the most expensive car I've ever bought by a long shot. Not even close. BlockDAG technology thoughts. I don't know who's BlockDAG. Is it that one that people keep asking about? Caspa or whatever. It's a combination of the two, I think. Like in terms of DAG and blockchain, that's what I mean. Raymond, I had a Tesla Plaid, okay, and I still do. I have a Model X Plaid too. Doesn't matter, it's faster. It's boring as F. And you know that. If someone has 5K, should they buy 10 altcoins, 500 each, or one to make more money? You don't know. No one really knows. But I don't think you should just buy 10 coins without knowing what they are. Right? You want to know who they are because you want to bet on the fastest horse in a race. You definitely need Bitcoin in there. You definitely need Ethereum in there. And then you can find some others that you may like. Doesn't mean that you got to go all 10. You could go with 5 coins. You could go 3 coins. You could go with 1 coin. Or you could go with 10. Right? But you got to do the research. You got to put in the effort. Oops. I took my camera off. Power cert. I have 3 cars right now. My daily driver is a Model X Plaid. And then I have the Ferrari, and then my other SUV, which now my wife drives, is a Mercedes GLS 580. But once I get my new house done with my new garage, I may be getting 1 or 2 more cars, as long as they're not over as MSRP. The good thing, one of the big reasons why I took delivery of my Ferrari, despite horrible crypto market conditions, is I did not overpay for it. I ordered a year and a half. It took me 1.5 years to wait for it. Ferrari played a lot of games while I was waiting for. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, Ferrari, is forcing mandatory Apple CarPlay integration. I'm like, okay, so how much that costs? $4,000. I'm like, Jesus, okay. You have no choice. You just have to accept it. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, you know what? Ferrari has a surplus of carbon fiber wheels. I'm like, so? They're like, yeah, Ferrari, all these oligarchs that ordered Ferraris ordered carbon fiber wheels. But since we don't ship to Russia anymore, Ferrari really wants to get rid of them. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, it's really recommended that you add them onto your car because Ferrari's giving preference to people that order the wheels. I'm like, I don't really want the wheels. He's like, it's highly recommended that you pick up the wheels or, your order may be canceled. I'm like, God damn it. So they do play games, but they know they can because it's a freaking Ferrari and you make money as soon as you take delivery. And no one's going to cancel it, right? So I paid MSRP. I didn't go above. Like, if you're buying now, you're still paying above MSRP. Yeah, you guys don't want to know how much those wheels cost, man. They're not. They're not. They cost more than some cars. It's ridiculous. I don't ever want to scratch them or replace those tires. Because they're carbon fiber wheels, just the bolts needed to be upgraded to titanium bolts. Just the bolts itself is $1,500. Okay, so that kind of puts into perspective how much those wheels are. If the bolts themselves are $1,500 extra. Where can I drive a Ferrari? Nowhere. Where I am, there's nothing, right? So that's why it's like, I don't know where to drive. Sometimes I just drive on the highway, but that's it. Drive the highway for 30 minutes, come back. I don't have a track. A track is like an hour away from me, and I don't even want to drive it there anyways. So that's why I don't drive much. Insurance is actually not that much. Insurance is actually almost the same as my other cars. Insurance is actually really cheap. Yesterday when I was taking it out, I don't know why, there was a obnoxiously large amount of cops all scanning because I have a radar detector from like 8 years ago and it still works. It's like every 5 minutes it goes off and there's some cop. So luckily they didn't pull me over because I don't have a front license plate, but yeah, I couldn't even really do anything. Have I heard of the FEG token? It's like a meme coin, right? It's a meme coin with something else. No, there's a new and old. Yeah, no, I've never heard of it. Yeah, I don't know why there's a new token versus the old one. So it's like a DeFi ecosystem sort of. Okay. It's kind of like I don't know, injective, I guess, something like that. I don't know enough about it. On top of Ethereum, low market cap, not a lot of exchanges. Don't know too much. I'm gonna go tint the windows. Probably someday, but not right now. All right, I think that's it. I've been talking for too long. So overall, the rallies are real. ETH, Bitcoin, everything is rallying right now. And I think it's only going to continue. It's going to get better here on out. The U.S. is still being very irresponsible with money, and that's going to lead to bad things. But in the meantime, enjoy your Bitcoin gains. Bitcoin is the way. That's it. That's it. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.